In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this painted animation using nothing but one single painted frame. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new around here, my name's Arman and I make simple tutorial videos around VFX every Monday at 12 o'clock. So why not hit the subscribe button and join me? So this week I found a new piece of software that's completely free where you can use a video and turn it into a picture and animate it. Now if you've watched some of my tutorials, the Blotter Media Instagram dance video tutorial, it shows you frame by frame how to paint in rotoscoping. Now this way, although it's cool to know it, you know it's a pain to do it frame by frame. And if you're going to do this animation in the industry, you'd be expected to do it frame by frame. For this video, there are 54 frames. You'd have to paint 54 frames just to put together a few minutes of animation. It's a pain. With EB Synth, free software, free guys, free, you'll only have to paint one, maybe two, maybe three images, and it'll automatically reference those and paint in the additional frames for you. Can you believe it? Can you imagine the amount of hours you'll save while it just renders it out and does it for you? You could learn a new skill, try one of my tutorials, or probably what I would do would be to nap. So let's get started. First, you'll need to go onto the EB Synth website with a link to this in the description below. Once you download this, install it, and it won't be a plugin for After Effects. It's its own standalone software, but don't worry, I'll break it down. On the website itself, it shows you examples of where you can truly take this to, and my favorite being the Stranger Things animation, where they've not only painted in 11, but they've changed the whole background to give it more of an artistic and dramatic pose. But it's also worth having a look at their videos because they break it down into more detail. I'm not sponsored, by the way, by them. It's just I found it amazing and I needed to do this tutorial. First, you'll need an image sequence of the video clip you're going to use. To do this, if you're lucky, you might have some, but if you only have the video, open either After Effects or Premiere Pro, and I'm going into After Effects. Drag and drop the video into a comp and go to Composition and Add to Render Queue. In the render settings, click on Output Module and change QuickTime to PNG file. Now, if you're doing this professionally, I would recommend going as a TIFF sequence as you get better quality footage. However, as I'm just using this as a tutorial, I'm going with PNG. JPEG's also good, but I've chosen PNG for more definition. Other than that, just make sure under format options, there's none selected for compression and hit OK. Then under output, select an area you'd want to save it to. For this to work, you need to save it in a certain area. Created a folder that says image sequence. I later renamed this to video, but image sequence is fine. It's just so you can locate the video. And hit save and hit render. This might take a few seconds, but it's pretty straightforward from there. From there, open up the image sequence and frame by frame, choose one frame that sums up the clip perfectly. As Princess Jasmine here, as Naomi Scott here is walking straight down, I can pretty much take any shot, so I'm going to take the first frame. Open this up in Photoshop. Now, what I originally did was created a layer and painted the fabric in, then another layer for the gold trim, then another layer for her skin, and kind of worked. You can see my Photoshop skills aren't that good. So I kind of used a shortcut, which isn't the best, but for this tutorial, you can see what I'm actually trying to do. But ideally, if you're good at Photoshop or you have the time, brush it in, get your technique right, and it'll look really good. Examples here are from the EB website. It really shows how you can stretch this footage. Anyway, so I clicked on the layer, I went to filter and then filter gallery. This is an inbuilt gallery within Photoshop. It essentially is a shortcut to using a brush effect or a pencil colored effect or texture or watercolor or whatever. It comes pre-built with a lot of effects, and you can change the brush size, detail, texture to the amount you want. It's not perfect and it's not really ideal if you were doing this for a client, but it's still quite worth having a look at. Once you're happy with it, click OK and save this as a PNG in its own folder. This is important here. Make sure the folder is named keyframe. This is the frame that the EB Synth software will refer back to. Every time I say EB, I feel like saying EB family. Anyway, make sure it's PNG and named the same as the frame it's referencing, and hit save. Brill. Now we can use the EB Synth. In EB Synth, there are 3 sections. The top section where the software should look for the painted frame, the video and mask, which I'll come back to. The weight is how much you'd like to build the painted picture into the live footage. And then the bottom is frame reference. So if we start from keyframes, you can either drag and drop the keyframes onto the area and it'll automatically reference it. However, it didn't work for me. So what I did is I hit select, found the keyframe file, selected the keyframe. This keyframe now is what EB Synth is going to reference and duplicate while she moves down the stairs. So traditionally, you would have to paint in total for this scene 54 frames. You'd paint the first frame, use it as a reference, paint the next frame, and you do that until you hit the end. That would take so much time, and I'm glad this exists. Essentially, like I've done right now, you paint one frame and it works out the rest for you. So next thing to do is you need to link in the live footage. Again, hit select, find the video layer, make sure you click on the first image of the sequence, not number 54 like I have at the top, but the 0000 file. It will automatically link the rest of them in. As for mask, I currently have mine off, but essentially if I just wanted to paint Princess Jasmine, I would have to go into After Effects, draw a mask around Naomi Scott, make sure to turn the stopwatch on for the mask path, and keyframe the mask frame by frame. So change it, frame 1, go across to frame 2, and keep going until she's completely covered. Then I would change this to the alpha channel and render this out as a mask layer. Then we change it to the alpha channel, create a new mask folder and render this out as a mask layer. As I didn't need to do that because I'm painting the whole scene, I didn't render it out. The other alternative way around this is that if you have a green screen, you just need to key it out, render the alpha channel out. But just to show you, in EB Synth, you go back into it, again, select the mask and you can turn it on. But for now, I'm leaving it off as I don't need it. And then in EB Synth, turn on mask, hit select and find the mask. As I'm not adding a mask, I'm just going to leave it as off. Last thing to do at the bottom is enter the frames. So under stop is you would place in the first frame of the footage. In my case, it's 0000. Under keyframe, like above, you'd reference the frame that you use as a keyframe. Again, mine is 000, and for stop, you'd put in the last number of your keyframe, which is 00054. However, you see here, it's automatically dropped some of the frame numbers, which is fine, it still works. Select output and create a new output folder. As I've already tested this out, I'm going to create a new folder, name it as output 2 and hit open. Then hit run all. As I did this last night, it took all night to render the file. So if this was a TIFF image, it would have taken longer. So PNG is quite useful to have.
8 hours later.
Bro. Once done, input the new image sequence into After Effects and play it through and see how much time EB Synth has saved you. It's quite amazing that this software is free. One of the amazing features about this is that you can do your final composition in After Effects, Premiere Pro, Nuke, whatever. It allows you to adapt it to your software. And I think I've said this already, it's free. It's absolutely free, which is just crazy. Give it a go, guys. And if you do any examples, please tag me in it, as I'm sure you guys are better drawers and I'd love to see it. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. It's free, so why not? And stay inspired.